From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Will you accept a collect call, Mr. Dollar?
Huh?
It's from Lake Mojave Resort in Arizona.
Oh, say no more, operator. Just put him on.
Well, yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Hi, who is it this time? Buster Favor, Ham Pratt?
Johnny, this is Red.
Yeah, well, how's the fishing? Time for me to make another trek westward and find out from... Huh? Red?
That's right, Johnny.
Red who?
Well, you know the guide out here, Red Barrett.
The fishing guide?
Oh, yes, sir.
Who claims to know Lake Mojave like the back of his hand and every good spot there is in it?
And I do, Johnny. That's a fact.
Then I repeat my question. How's the fishing?
Just as fine as ever, if you know where the good holes are, that is.
And you do?
Yes, I do.
So you think it's high time I fly on out there and wet a line, is that it?
No, sir, that's not what I'm calling you about, Johnny.
Well, what is it?
I don't rightly think I ought to tell you over the phone, Johnny. But I think you better come here just about as quick as you can.
But unless I know why...
I'll tell you when you get here.
Well, look, I usually do my traveling on expense account for an insurance company.
And you can this time.
Huh? What company?
The one that insured him, the Greater Southwest Insurance.
Insured who, Red?
Johnny, I'll tell you all that when you get here.
Now look.
They tell me there's a plane leaves New York right at high noon.
Listen, Red.
That'll get you into Las Vegas about 9:45 tonight, okay?
Okay, listen.
Goodbye, Johnny.
Red! Crazy old coot. He thinks for 1 minute that I'm going to get on. And yet, on second thought...
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Greater Southwest Insurance and Liability Company, Kingman, Arizona office. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Mojave Red matter.